everyone? Thanks for tuning into PVD Horror Podcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm joined here with Dave and our special guest, Doug, aka Doug Supernatural. You can find him on Instagram and check out all his dope content. Trust me, all of his content is crazy and it's nuts, man. It's like, Doug, thanks for just joining us today. We appreciate it. We've been trying to get you on forever, man, but your fucking agent, you know, I mean, it's always something with you. You're always fucking busy.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I'm happy to be here now. I love that I get a chance to hang out with you guys, and we're gonna talk some shit. We're gonna talk about whatever.
Yeah.
And like I said before we hopped on, happy to finally see your faces.
Yeah. What was it? A few years ago, I was supposed to connect with you down over at the Monster Mania outside when they had it outside, and I know it was like hot as hell.
Oh my god!
I was like, oh man, I think you went Saturday. And I had gone Sunday, so
yes, it was wow, what an awful experience that was to be melting on that concrete. You'd never want to have conventions or any event on concrete when it's like 108 degrees. It was brutal.
I've never heard one good thing about that convention except for that Tom Atkins was there. That's the only thing I've ever heard good about that.
About Monster Mania in general, or
that one that was outside. Yeah.
Yo, Tom Atkins was sweating.
Yeah,
they were out. Him and Adrian Barbeau, they both had like little tents that they could like hover under. But like Tom Atkins is like 82.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be out there melting in the heat.
It was fucking hot.
Rude. It's very rude.
Yeah,
it was very rude. But hey, I'm sure they need some money.
Yeah.
David Gordon Green unfortunately didn't cast Tom Atkins in any Halloween movie.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about him not casting him?
I think definitely I think there's a whole lot of wrong things with that trilogy, but
yeah,
not including Tom Atkins, especially since they were gonna go. Apparently, they were gonna go like tie it all up with Silver Shamrock, but that scene got cut out. How can you not have Tom Atkins just do a little cameo for something?
Yeah, I mean they did so many like homages to the original. Like that's actually a pretty big oversight. So good point on that.
Yeah, and they brought back literally, I don't know, a lot of people from the original trilogy. That Charles Cyphers, I mean, he's an important figure anyway. Mm-hmm. But they just gave. I have so many. I could do a whole 5 hours on why I don't like the new Halloween trilogy, but I won't. I'll save you guys from that.
Okay, all right.
So man, you had like a crazy year in 2022. You were definitely one of our favorite pages to check out. How has the whole horror community journey been for you?
It's been pretty bad. I mean, yeah, I love the people I connected with on there for sure. I made I wasn't really, I could give you the whole reason why, I mean, I didn't even know the horror community on social media was even like a thing up until the beginning of 2020. I experienced like a breakup or whatever. This is like a month before the pandemic. And then I was just like, I don't know, I wouldn't say depressed, but I was just like super upset. I'm pretty sure I caught COVID before it was even a thing, but it could have just been like a deathly flu. I put on like John Wick while I had like 102 fever, and I'm like, I need to go to the doctor. I can't pay attention. But then I was just on Instagram or whatever, and I just started like realizing that there was a bunch of people out there that like the same stuff. I mean, I was always into horror and stuff like that, and hung out with a bunch of people around me that like it, but like this whole community is super rad. All good things to say about it. I mean, everyone, I would say like 99.9% of the people that at least I've connected with, especially you guys too, super rad, super kind, very supportive, definitely supportive, because people be wilding out on there sometimes. And it's good to have the, I don't want to say validation, because you should do, if you feel something, you should do it. Mm-hmm. But it's good to have people, cheering everyone on and like hyping you up.
Yeah.
As everyone should do for each other, if you're not a piece of shit, that is.
Yeah. Don't support pieces of shit, guys.
It's got a lot better though, man. I think back in what was it, 2018, because that's when we first started off doing a lot more, because we had our separate pages and everything, and then but we joined like the community as like PVD Horror in like 2018. Right. And I feel as though there was a lot more drama in 2018, and I feel as though now moving forward, like there's, like you said, everybody's together and kind of like supporting each other. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, with the drama stuff, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about. Probably, I online drama is kind of stupid, especially for a lot of people who really don't know. Like again, you could connect with someone fully online. I met my my friend Phil, who I do our podcast with, the Spook House podcast. I met him through Instagram and stuff, and we became like really good friends. But like on the surface, like you really don't know who someone is, like in and out.
Right.
So like to have problems with someone on the internet is just so stupid. Like I don't understand it.
I think that's what we were seeing though. Like, you know, there would be people that seemed like pretty publicly liked, and I mean, it was cool for us because we didn't get involved in any of the drama. We just got to watch it all roll out, and it was like we'd be like texting as we were like watching stuff and be like, "Oh shit, you see that?" And like it was kind of entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that's what would happen is when someone's like real life or like how they really are kind of started to creep in to, and that's when people kind of like would call them out, and we'd be like, "Oh shit, did you hear about, you know, so and so sending that DM to that person or something?" But yeah,
it's pretty wild how that stuff gets around. Yeah, it's a good thing. But you know, it's people are people with all complex emotions.
Yeah, I think the one thing that happened with us, I think, is because the main thing about us, we support a lot of people and we post a lot of people's stuff and everything like that. And I think we got caught in the crossfire of that before by posting one person's thing and another person had an issue with them. And then that person.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you guys are rolling with that person.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of, if you have a show, you kind of have. Well, I'm sure you guys do your research on people, and you wouldn't reach out to someone who's like someone who. It's crazy. I've never seen so many people get like abused. Like it's pretty crazy how many people you find out are like, you know, they come off as, you know, good, kind-hearted person, then they're verbally abusive or physically abusive.
Yeah.
Like, wow, there's a lot of shit going on behind closed doors that you don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dudes are going to be dudes, and like the creepy stuff that dudes do happens even in the horror community, unfortunately. But like, luckily, you know, there's enough of us around to kind of be like, yeah, you don't do that. That shit is not cool. Like, please don't do that.
That shit shouldn't fly anywhere.
Yeah, and that's like I like about our like the horror community. I say our community, but like, yeah, I like it because it feels like everybody's on equal playing field. It's like, you know, men, women, you know, trans, whatever. We're all kind of like we're just appreciative of everyone being like fans of the genre and shit. So
absolutely, and like just talk. Like at the end of the day, we're all talking shit about movies. It seems like everyone has. It's so fun to talk with people who you like either never met or like who you're close with, and you're just bullshitting about like what you're passionate about. I feel like I can't have a conversation if it's not about movies. Otherwise, I'm just like, I don't care.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, trying to struggle to find the words, but like you bring up like Hereditary or something, I'll give you like a verbal thesis on it.
Yes, exactly. Suddenly you're a genius. Like everyone looks at that guy like, what is that idiot doing? And you're like, suddenly, yeah, please ask me something about movies. I promise I'm smart.
So, man, how was your Friday the 13th? Are you a fan of that franchise? And if so, what is your favorite one?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I love Friday the 13th. And we had I unfortunately, well, not fortunately, I was working. But I was gonna go see. So this indie theater near me, they played the first Friday the 13th.
Yep.
So I was gonna catch that, but didn't. Honestly, me and Phil did our own like Friday the 13th ranking on the Spook House, and I'm not gonna lie, the first one, I don't know how you guys feel about the original Friday the 13th film, but that was way far down on my list, on at least on an entertainment level. Jason Takes Manhattan is my favorite.
Thank you.
All right, Brandon.
Yes, finally.
Brandon, is that why you invited him on here? Is that why?
I seen the poster in his room on a post before.
Yeah, it's right over here. I can't flip the whole computer around, but
our whole season 3 is just Brandon getting people to validate that Jason Takes Manhattan is the best installment.
It's a great. It's not my best one. It's one of my best ones, but I like the new beginning is my favorite.
Okay.
And it's Manhattan, but I love Manhattan, but people like to shit on it that I like Manhattan. So like, man, fuck you guys if you don't like it.
It's just so that's why I think Scream 6 might work, because it's going out of Woodsboro. Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan goes outside of like Camp Crystal Lake. It's just like new.
Yeah.
It's just like a new kind of setting, which kind of shakes things up. So that's always good. But it's just so goofy.
Yeah.
It's
And then you have people, but he wasn't even in New York. He was on a boat for most of the movie. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck up. He went somewhere else. He wasn't in the camp.
And it was the slowest boat because from Jersey to Manhattan on a boat ride, it'll probably take like, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That ferry from New York to Connecticut is like an hour.
Yeah. No, that's true. Do you find that like your favorite films in like that franchise or other franchise, do you find they change over the years?
As in like your taste changing? Like it kind of gets
I think
like,
so, because like for us, even like I think Final Chapter was my favorite for a long time, and then I started to like A New Beginning more, and I just feel like over the years, and even with like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, I found my rankings change like every so often. So I always think that's interesting.
I totally agree with you. I find with at least with the Friday the 13th franchise, my taste stays pretty much the same. I guess it depends like on what mood I'm in, really. But generally, the ranking stays the same. Especially after watching it like so many times. Like I'm sure you guys have seen those movies like more than 10 times or around there or something like that. Like they're all of them are like really good comfort films, but we all have our favorites. And that's the good thing about movies. We're allowed to change our minds. Exactly. Like we can not like something and then watch it and something clicks. My favorite used to be part 3. And then I watched Jason Takes Manhattan like one day for like the 5th time and was like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And then it just rose to the top.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think there's a bad Friday the 13th film, you know what I mean? So like that's where it comes into. They're all fun. And like we had Vincent DeSanti, which is the creator of the Womp Stomp films for the Never Hike Alone.
Oh, okay, cool.
He kind of put it all in perspective because he liked which I forgot which one he liked, but he liked it because it was one of the films that he liked, that it just put him into that zone of where he was from. And so I think that's why Jason Takes Manhattan kind of gravitates towards me a little bit more, because he's in the city. And I think that's the same for you because you're actually from New York.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that with Jason kind of just being in that area of like somewhere where you're at makes you like it a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know about you guys. I know you guys are from Rhode Island? Rhode Island.
We're both from Rhode Island, yeah.
All right, rad. Yeah, I don't know how many movies are filmed or take place in Rhode Island, but like I just love seeing New York in movies, like Maniac, Rosemary's Baby, Jason Takes Manhattan. There's so many. I mean, New York is a very popular place, but like it's gritty. It shows like the underbelly of the city, especially the 80s movies. It's just so dirty. Like there you can smell it through the screen.
I was thinking about like a subgenre of New York, like the 80s, like gritty New York style movies. Like you mentioned, like Maniac, like Cue the Winged Serpent. Like there's this thing about 80s in New York where it's like they always have like these like homeless people everywhere, and there's like these punks on the streets like gathered, and you don't want to walk by them. There's just like this vibe to it that like makes it sound like icky but also kind of like awesome at the same time. And like I feel like someone needs to like create that subgenre of New York films.
Yeah, like it had, like, again, I'm only 33, so I never really experienced what it was like to grow up in the 80s in the city, but like seeing it in movies, and I'm sure we've all seen, between the three of us, plenty of movies that depict New York and stuff like that, and cities, and it's just so like there's like a rawness to it, and things are very sanitized now, even though it's still at the core kind of disgusting. I don't know, it's just more real. Like it just seems like that's how it is. Like it just like
I went to go the spot where the hotel from Maniac and the hotel from Basket Case.
Yes.
I was like, I don't feel scared walking over here. Like I feel like I should be scared. Like I feel like it's supposed to be part of the experience. It's like someone's supposed to try to mug me or something like that.
It could very much happen still, but it doesn't seem like it's going to.
Yeah,
because you have all those pretty lights and all the fucking advertisements for TikTok and whatever Xbox game is coming out. It's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that hotel's still standing, and the lobby still looks the same, right?
Yes. So pretty much. Yeah. Yep.
Like kind of has that little, I love that like little space that the head clerk is in or whatever in Maniac, where he's just like sitting there. They have the pillars. It just looks, I mean, I don't know. I
want to go to a hotel where like the guy's behind like some kind of cage or something like that, or a glass, and like I want to like go into one of those seedy ass hotels. That's like a goal in life.
If you they're probably still out there. I'm not sure if you'll make it out alive. if you're going into a town that has a hotel with a cage in it, probably not a good place to be. It's not a good neighborhood.
Some prostitutes outside, you know, just that whole vibe. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, you're getting stabbed.
Yeah. That's the final message here. Yeah. I just really want to get mugged.
Yeah, wow. I never knew that was a bucket list goal of someone's.
To write a passage.
All right, go to East New York. They'll rob the fuck out of you.
All right, sounds good. I meant to ask you guys. We were talking about Never Hike Alone. Did you guys see the trailer for Never Hike Alone 2? It just came out on Friday the 13th, I think.
I didn't see. I never saw anything. I never saw the movies or anything.
Oh, you haven't checked them out yet?
No, I haven't. Where do you watch them? On YouTube or?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Definitely worth the watch. But his new trailer had what's that guy's name? Tom Matthews.
Yeah.
Matthews, from part 6 and 7.
Oh, no way. That's really awesome that they're getting the actual.
He was in the original too towards the end. The first one, I should say, the Never Hike Alone, the first one.
Okay.
But the trailer looks pretty sick. I don't know when the release date is yet for the full film, but looks good.
I have to check out the first one.
Yeah.
I don't. What are your feelings on like fan films?
I enjoy them, you know, and so I think it takes that person that's creating it. So we know like both the people that kind of created those fan films. So we know Vincent and we know Peter Anthony. He's the one that did the last installment of a fan film, and so it's kind of like just like if you were to make a Jason film about like how you would sit there and see him like kind of go on a path of killing, like how like the mainstream studio wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you kind of take your ideas and roll with it. So that's what we've seen through these two franchises of the fan film. So,
yeah, there's some that I think like those two guys do have done them decently.
Yeah.
There's some that I've seen that I didn't like as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of the other one that was okay, that came out somewhat recently as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's cool that like, you know, people are kind of getting that attitude of, well, I'm just going to make my own film.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to wait around and, you know, wait for something to come my way. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting way to go about it. Especially if, you know, for people, I don't know if those dudes have ever like written like a full length film before or anything. But yeah, to not like shop around your idea and just do it yourself, it's a pretty heavy task to take on with like a whole, you know, making movies cost a lot. So to do it with like a small budget and to like really flesh out your idea seems like definitely a fun thing to do. And when it comes together, I'm sure it's very rewarding. I was always I never seen fan films. I'm not against fan films. I never seen one just because for some reason, I don't know. I don't know if it's a stigma, but to wrap your head, because like we're so used to like the original franchise that I'm like, well, what can they do? But I guess I need to watch it to see, you know.
Yeah. You know, before I actually watched one, it was hard for me to wrap my head around watching something that's not like canon, right?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I get that. And like so we watched it because Vincent DeSantis did Never Hike Alone. Like I forget how we stumbled across it, but he actually lives like the state over. He's from Mass.
Oh,
so
cool.
he like connected with us pretty early on when that first film came out. So it's kind of exciting, like, oh, this kind of semi-local guy did this thing. But the thing that really blew me away and made me more open to more of the fan films, it looked quality. Like it looked like a real production. And I was kind of blown away because my only experience with fan films before that was like watching some weird shorts on YouTube or something like that looked super cheesy. Like nothing about this looked cheesy. So I was like, if they can do that, then more power to them. Why wait for studios, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that was the thing too. Vincent worked for some of the studios. I know he worked for like DreamWorks and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was always behind the scenes. And so he was just like, I think he got kind of pissed off with just like everyone else did with the Friday the 13th legal battles. And he wanted to another film and it just wasn't happening. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm just going to create this until this whole legal battle shit is handled. So that's how that all happened. So I think that was cool.
And did he have to get the rights to use Jason Voorhees in the film, or does he go around that?
I think he probably like went around it because
okay.
not to put him on blast.
I was just curious because I didn't know, because you guys have seen the film. Yeah, no, we're not trying to. Yeah, we're not trying to get this man arrested.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 2004. Oh, he's quoting Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
One of the best, actually the best sketch show of all time. Just to go off on a side tangent. What was I gonna say? Yeah. I wasn't sure if they like, if he only directed it in a way where you could see like his feet and you can't like show the hockey mask or something.
Oh, so I mean, he does his own version of it, and does he actually use the full name? I don't know. Yeah.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's like Ghost Jason or something like that.
Oh, so I heard an interesting. Speaking of Jason, we'll just keep this Friday the 13th conversation going since it was Friday the 13th. I heard an interesting debate, and I'm going to ask you guys: do you guys view Jason more as a zombie or a ghost?
I never heard that question before in my life. I'm going to have to take a beat.
I never thought about it, and then these two people were talking about it, and it was like an intelligent conversation. So I was like, "Wow, this is a real debate," and I never really gave it thought.
Well, they call I think Kane Hodder's Jason is like the zombie Jason. So
he's zombie Jason, and which one in like 8? No, 7. I mean,
yeah. So that whole, I guess that's what they were rolling with him from like, because you have the final chapter and everything else like that. So yeah, it's a good debate. So it's like either way, like I don't think there's no wrong answer to it. You know?
There's ways to fight it out for both arguments. Because he does shuffle around. I mean, he doesn't shuffle around, but he comes back from the dead like a zombie, but he also doesn't die. So he's kind of like a ghost, but you could see him. Yeah. He's not like he disappears.
And I mean, he can literally go from like one place to the next in a time that a zombie would not be able to do, right?
That is true. Yes.
You have to focus on it too. The first film, like he's not in it. And then it's like he comes out of the water at the end. And then it's like the second one, he comes back and he goes and he kills everyone that
you just solidified it for me.
I think I was leaning towards zombie, and then there's like the electricity, like reanimates him. So that was kind of my thought too, but figured I would throw that one out there.
Yeah, I would argue to say paranormal, because from what he just said.
Oh, gotcha.
Because like the Pamela Voorhees dies, and then like weird spiritual things happen and he gets resurrected. So at first I would say paranormal, but yeah, he dies and then gets resurrected like a zombie. So he's a zombie ghost technically.
So he went from ghost to zombie.
Yeah, ghost zombie. Wow. I think. I mean, like he said, no wrong answer. I think he would argue both points here. He's not, because he's not eating brains. He's not like your typical zombie.
Oh, that would be awesome though.
If we get Cannibal Jason, I mean, that would be something that'd be rad.
That's my new fan film.
You can make that as your fan film.
Perfect.
See, that's something you want to see. And that's how these films get made.
And he mugs people.
Yeah, right. I mean,
in hotel rooms in New York.
Yeah, with a mustache on his mask.
Yes.
I want his beard to grow a mustache. I mean, his mask to grow a mustache. What am I saying?
He has a beard under his mask. That'd be cool.
I mean, he can't shave unless he has really bad genes and he just doesn't grow one.
I feel like he wouldn't. Just like, even like if he grew up the way that he looks when he comes out of that water, I feel like he's not a bearded dude.
Yeah, that would be incredible if like he kept the same boyish like flesh that he had under his mask. So like when you unveil it, it's just like a grown man's body, but like that same face. Yeah.
And that's why like, Jason Takes Manhattan, like at the end when they were under like the toxic, he was sitting, he was, like curled up, and he's like, so
Dude,
it was like something.
I love that. Yeah. I love the sewer scene.
All right, let me transition us away from Friday the 13th a bit. Doug, tell me what types of horror do you love? I'm getting that you like slashers. That's awesome. What other types of horrors do you tend to gravitate towards?
I think my favorite ones, I was actually thinking about this last night. I don't know why.
You're like, I have a feeling one of those guys is gonna ask me this question.
I think maybe. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about, so I better have some like stock answers ready. No, I tend to gravitate towards, I like really like psychological horror. Like Rosemary's Baby is in my top 5 of all time. Just because it's so beautifully tragic. No one believes anything this woman is saying.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to convince her that she's crazy, and she's starting to believe all these witches. It's just so insane. And the way it like builds up, and Hereditary is another favorite of mine. I just love the things that can like get under your skin and really make you feel like unsettled. Like that shit terrifies me. Not so much. I love slasher movies. I just love them for like the fun aspect of it, and to like shut my brain off and be like, fuck yeah, stab that person with some like sharpened nunchucks or something, whatever. But like movies that I really love are just ones that like really mess with your brain.
Yeah. I think that's kind of my go-tos as well. I love psychological, but like slashers are always just fun if I'm just not in the mood to think too much.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you said Hereditary, definitely. Rosemary's Baby. Do you have any other ones that you can think of for that kind of genre?
Ooh, let's see. I mean, most recently Pearl. I think that was more like a psychological kind of descent into madness more than like a straight up horror movie. Did you guys enjoy Pearl?
I thought it was okay, but I think it's like from that trip of just coming off of watching X and then watching Pearl, and everything just slows down and it's totally different. And so I didn't think it was going to be a film like that. So it's like when I was telling Dave before, it's like whenever I think of Pearl, it's kind of like Wizard of Oz. So it was good, but it's kind of hard to like say that, like, because I'm a slasher guy and just like crazy films and shit. So I kind of lean towards more to X than Pearl, but I don't, like I said, it was okay.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but
okay.
I just watched Smile the other day, and I was actually blown away with how much I enjoyed it, because trailer wise, I was like, eh. And then a buddy of ours reached out to me. He's like, I feel like you're really gonna like this. And he goes, just tell me what you think after. And I watched it and I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of great themes here about trauma and stuff like that. And I was like, yes, absolutely.
Smile was the first movie that actually in a while where I jumped at least like 5 times throughout the movie. And like, I don't know, I was talking about this with another friend of mine. It seems like with these recent horror movies, they forget that they have to scare you.
Yeah.
They're like too, I don't want to say pretentious, but like it's like anticipation porn. Like you're just waiting, and nothing happens. But like you have to add the scare. That's what makes a horror movie a horror movie. There has to be some elements of a scare factor or something that's absolutely terrifying. You can't just film the corner of a wall and like be like, oh, this is high art. But no, Smile, I'm with you. I enjoyed Smile more than I thought I was, because the trailer just looked like, run of the mill. It resembled an early 2000s like fear.com type of vibe.
Nice reference right there.
That movie is not good. Like the early
it reminded me of that Truth or Dare movie where they get like a weird look on their face and then they do some thing. The trailer reminded me of that.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was also pretty terrible. But yeah, Smile, it succeeded in the scare department. When she was can we spoil it?
Yeah,
sure.
All right, I don't know how many people.
I'm gonna do like a special episode about that because I have so many freaking notes that I already told Brandon. I was like, I'm gonna spoil the shit out of that movie because like I have to talk about it.
I'm looking forward to hearing that from you, because you loved it that much.
Yeah.
But when she's sitting at the Sosie Bacon, which I didn't know was Kevin Bacon's daughter at first, when she's sitting trying to decipher the like the audio file, and she's like getting closer and closer, and the thing just like jumps out at her, I freaked out. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And that was a solid scare. And honestly, the creature design was spot on. It looked really gnarly at the end. I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that thing was like terrifying looking for sure. But also kind of like what you were saying with Rosemary's Baby, it's just watching this person get like gaslit, and it's like they're like, I'm not crazy, and everybody around them's just looking at them. It just I like that a lot. That was good.
And it seems like every movie, if you go, it seems, well, I won't say every movie, but so many movies from like the dawn of time, it's like law enforcement never believes the person.
Yeah.
They're like, there's a killer out there, and they're like, shut the fuck up, go home, you're fine. It's like, maybe entertain it a little bit, even if it seems outside of the realm of possibility, maybe get them some like, mental health.
Something.
Help. But they're just so dismissive. I just think it's hilarious that every movie is just like, yeah, shut up, kid. And then they see it for themselves, and they're like, oh, too late now.
Yeah. Now, did you see that in a theater or did you see that at home?
I saw that. I saw it on Paramount Plus. I wish I saw it in the theaters, but I was working too much and I couldn't get around to it. But killed it at the box office. It was in the theaters for a long time.
Yeah.
Just like you guys said, it was like a big surprise for me because I had gone into it. I seen it the night it came out and had taken my my son and his friend and my wife. We had gone to watch it. And that jump scare had my son's friend just like scream like a little girl in the whole theater, and everybody was like, "What the hell?"
How old is your son? Is he a teenager?
My son's 15.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Damn, you had a kid young, man.
Oh, come on, bro! You just hit me with that. Was it that Kevin Hart? But who was that? How was he interviewing the dude from Iron Man?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Shit.
He goes, I'm 55, and Kevin Hart goes, damn.
I'm saying you're a young dude. So like a 15-year-old son, I'm like, damn, are you sure you're not 40 or something? Or 45? But yeah, damn, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, so like
that's so awesome though that you guys get to like bond over horror movies. That must be like a joy for you.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because, and that's the thing too. My daughter's 11, so it's just like, like I bring them to the conventions and stuff, and then like they're big fans of these films, and they watch them ever since they were little. So they were able to meet like Nev Campbell like one year, and my daughter's like, oh, like you know what I mean? Like it's a good time. So it's like they go with us sometimes when we go. So
I think the best part of it is like your daughter was way easier to get into horror than your son. Like he was way more scared than she was at an early age. She was like doing seances on a Chucky doll as a baby.
That's why women are superior. They're way cooler.
Absolutely.
They're like the intuitive nature. I don't know. They're just more in tune with it. When did you guys start liking like horror movies? Were you pretty young?
Yeah, I was young. Shit. I was probably around like 5 or something like that. Well, just around that, because I would watch them with my grandmother. The first movie that I have seen with her was Waxworks.
Wow. Okay.
And it was like Basket Case and all that. So I started off like really young, and so then it was always like having just like marathons of like movies, and then watching Joe Bob with her. You know what I mean? So it was just so it was good. That's when he was on TNT. Yeah.
You got the old school Last Drive-In.
Yeah, I started pretty young too, and it was like with my grandma too. It was like watching some of the classic stuff, and then I remember like 7, 8, 9, like on USA, they used to play like reruns of like Nightmare on Elm Street, like sequels though. Like I probably saw part 5 before I saw like the first one, just because it was like replaying, and I just fell in love with Freddy. But I had like, and we were talking about this recently, like I had like moments earlier where I caught like something super scary and it just like stayed with me, but like it made me also super curious about like wanting to see more about it, like catching a glimpse of it, like when I wasn't supposed to be watching it, or just other stuff like that. I was just always like very curious about it.
Yeah, that's what's great about it. Instead of like, it seems like a lot of us horror fans, when they start young and they see like something on TV like that terrifies them, but they're glued to the television.
Yeah,
like they still want to watch it. I think either one of the Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm pretty sure is the first one that I've seen first, or Killer Clowns from Outer Space was also on TV. I really don't remember what I've seen first, but I remember being like 13 years old, going to Blockbuster and renting like H2O.
Yep.
And then the first Halloween, I was like, oh shit, there's more. It's just so much fun to like discover all this stuff for the first time, like going back. And now that we're older, I mean, there's so many things still that I'm sure you guys discover too, and I discover there's so many movies out there that fly under the radar and don't get enough love, like Waxwork. That's a wild movie to see for your first horror movie.
It's nuts.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah. I think that was like kind of our mission when we first like started doing social media posts. We're like, how do we start to bring attention to films that people aren't talking about, and like, or that we love, that we want to like recommend? Because I remember like one of our first like weekly segments that we were doing early on was that Slept On Saturday, and we were like, posting The Burning before everybody started talking about The Burning, and just like anything and everything that we could think of that we were like, I don't think people have heard of this film. And it just felt like something like important to try to do.
It is, and like film awareness is a good thing to bring to light some of like the, like, I wouldn't say best movies, but like there's so much like charm to these movies, and it's cool that people are finding out about them and unearthing them. It's like being a kid for the first time, and I'm not ashamed to say. So I was late to The Burning. I only saw it I think I saw it like 4 years ago, so I was pretty new. Just because like I love to hear where people find out about these movies like back in the day. Like The Burning wasn't like Halloween or Friday the 13th. Right. It wasn't easily accessible. So like the fact that they were able to find it like late night on like fucking USA or TNT or whatever. I love that. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because it's like when those films came out those years, The Burning came out around the same time as Friday the 13th, but then it was just labeled as a copycat, you know what I mean? And it automatically it's like pushed to the side, like, no, that's not good, so it's kind of like, even now I'm a big Friday the 13th fan, but I enjoy The Burning more than the first Friday the 13th.
It's there's so many different ways to go about doing a slasher movie. That slasher movies are very, to some degree, kind of paint by numbers, obviously. Following around someone that kills a lot of people, boom. Then how do you make it different? I think The Burning succeeds in that. It's a really fun movie. Also has George from Seinfeld in it, which is fair, which is pretty insane. I was like, oh shit, George Costanza's in this.
Yep.
It's funny also, sorry to go off on another tangent, how many like big name actors get their start in horror. Like George Clooney did like Return to Horror High.
Yes.
When he was super young, and you're like, George Clooney, like,
yep.
I mean, they're just getting paid, like they're taking whatever at that age because it's work, and they want to build their filmography. It's just really cool that like,
was it Brad Pitt was in that, what's that school one? I can't remember, but he was like, he started in one. The lady from Sex and the City was in Doom Asylum.
Yes.
Just like I love that when you see those and you're like, oh damn, like who would have thunk that he started there?
Yeah, like this is where you got your start.
Yeah.
Like in some like trashy B horror movie.
And someone saw it and it's like, oh, that's the one right there.
Yeah. There's do you guys go on Tubi a lot?
Yeah.
They have some fantastic garbage on there.
Yep, classic films.
It's actually insane how good the catalog is on Tubi. Like it is literally insane. You can just sit on there and watch film after film all day, and you probably haven't seen any of them.
Seriously, there's so many. Oh my god, just to name a few that I found over the last couple years, and shout it out if you've seen them. Deadly Manor was a good one that
I keep talking about that recently.
Yeah.
That one like stuck with me after. Yeah.
The setting is so much fun. It's like this little mansion in the woods. It's it's pretty fun. Me and my best friend, we watched The Night Killer from 1990.
Yeah.
Wow. Just
Night Killer or Night Stalker?
Night Killer.
Is that the one with the guy who wears like the plastic latex mask?
The rubber mask with
that is the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Is it Night? It's Night Killer. Or
no, you're right. Night Killer. Yeah.
Okay.
That movie is so bad, but it's awesome.
Dude,
I think that lady had some nice tits though.
It's not an 80s horror movie without some titties. Fine.
Yeah.
But even though it's 90s. But yeah, like that Edge of the Axe is on there. There's so many movies that are just like.
And that's what I was talking about before. I think Edge of the Axe, we need a sequel to that. I think somebody needs
honestly, remake the movie.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're gonna remake movies, don't remake shit that we've seen before. Dig up some like old 80s trash B movie that has a sick title. Not a lot of people are familiar with besides, you know, us like, you know, horror fans or whatever that really dig deep and search to find, you know, under the radar movies that are like beloved to us. But like, don't do Black Christmas for a fourth time. Do NAX. Like, it's a cool title, and you could do whatever you want with it. It's the 80s movie. They could really like, you know, renovate it and amp it up.
It has fans, but it's not like people are going to be like, "Oh my god, like what did they do?"
Exactly. Even like, ironically, today is when the My Bloody Valentine remake came out, which was, in my opinion, not good. But like, it's not that well known of a movie. Outside of our world, I don't think, and it's a Canadian movie too.
Yeah,
the remake or the original?
The original.
Yeah.
You hear those accents.
The remake was like that had some at the time had big names, like that dude from Supernatural. Jamie King was in it. So like I remember going to that at the movies, and like it was packed. Like people were excited for that film.
Plus, that's when like 3D. That's when 3D first was coming back to the theater, and so that's why that was a big draw, you know.
And that's true.
Yeah, I need to go see that in 3D.
Dude, you could always people could say what they want about horror, like the Oscars not nominating Toni Collette is a fucking sin. Yeah. But you could always bank on horror doing well at the box office. It's a good for the mainstream audience, you know. It's a great date night movie. Everyone loves to be scared.
Yeah.
So no one should really, you know, talk down on the horror genre because it has its place.
It's funny because like Providence, like our city, if you go to like the theater in Providence and you go to a horror movie, it's always packed.
Yeah,
like awesome. City people want to see horror. Like,
absolutely.
You know, you go outside of the city, maybe the theaters aren't going to be packed, but when you go into Providence and you go to the theater there, all the horror movies are always packed, and you know, people love it.
It's always a fun time.
Smile. We went to
you said it was packed, right?
Yeah, like it's full. Like, you know, I mean, if you go to different theaters around, like it's probably like 10 people or something, like 10, 20, but like every seat's always full for a horror movie. So it's another movie that just recently came out the other day. No, last week was also full when I went to go see it too, but we'll talk about
which one? Skinamarink?
Yeah, no, not that one, not that one. On the 6th, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What am I? Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, wait, I completely forgot about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that did come out. That is a movie.
Yeah. But like we were just talking about it though, talking about movies that been out for a while and nobody's really seen. I noticed that, you know, I was watching one of your stories and you just had posted that you had seen one of the best films ever created for the first time, which is The Lost Boys. Yeah. What did you think about that film?
I immediately loved it. Yeah. I immediately gravitated towards it because it's one of his favorite movies. And that's a movie that I don't know why. It's not like I didn't want to see it. There were no negative connotations to it. For some reason, it just kept on passing me and time kept going on. I never got around. I own it. I have it. And I just never watched it. And Phil was like, all right, for my birthday, you better fucking watch this movie. And I watched the movie on VHS for the first time, which I think helped the experience. I would have loved it anyway if I watched it regularly, but I thought it was amazing. The story was great. The special effects were great. Kiefer Sutherland is great. It just felt like the Goonies.
Yeah.
and like just Goonies and Fright Night, kind of.
Yeah.
I loved it. I immediately, like, when you see a movie for the first time, like halfway through, you're like, I'm gonna watch this again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm gonna watch. Yeah, you put like time aside to just keep watching it. It was like one of those movies. I immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah, that was like one of those movies I just kept on rewatching over and over as a kid, because it was just like one of those movies that just kind of like, you know what I mean, when I had a shitty day or whatever like that, or something, I would just throw that on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then I started watching it from different points. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, listening to the grandfather like and talking, I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. And you know what I mean? And getting older and listening to like the jokes again, I'm just like, yo, that shit's fucking funny. Like, so it's just like little things that for that film, it definitely grows on you. And so now, like I said before, I watch it with my kids, and so they know like that's one of my favorite movies. But I think that it definitely aged well.
Yeah, I would say it's like a timeless movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like what makes a timeless movie is like the dialogue, like you're saying, like you could still connect with it. I don't know if you guys saw the movie that came out over the weekend on Peacock called Sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave didn't see it.
Okay, so I won't completely spoil it, but I don't think that movie is gonna age well.
No.
As opposed to like just another modern one, or like The Lost Boys for classics, and then modern movies. Like, I don't think it will age well as Hereditary, or even X for sure. X, I think, could be a timeless type of movie, because like it's like vague in a way. Like, you really don't know what time. It could be set in any time, there's no like cell phones in place. I think that has a lot to do with it. Because even in today's world, if you film a movie based in 2023, you don't have to have social media or phones involved, so it could really take place wherever. I think that helps. But I'm curious to know what you if you do watch Sick, what you think about it.
All right, I'll check it out. It's interesting because we're kind of talking about something that I think we saw a ton of the last couple of years, but I think you're right. I think like eventually we're probably that's gonna seem aged, is like that idea of like people doing like the movies on Zoom or in chat rooms and stuff like that. And like fear.com, how aged is that now? Like that, stuff, or like Cry Wolf, I think was another one that was kind of internet heavy. But like, these movies that are coming out now, I think it's very cool that they did them. And it's like, it's almost like a time capsule. Like, we'll go back to it one day and be like, hey, remember the pandemic when everybody was making films on Zoom?
Yeah.
But like, how often are we going to revisit those? I don't know.
It doesn't really bring too much entertainment value, because there's so like you can do a lot with a little, but that's just too little.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't expand the imagination or expand anywhere else but like the screen. So like, I think Sick does it. I mean, it's something. It's not a Zoom type of movie, but it's definitely one of those movies where you're like, at least for me, I was like, I don't want to relive like 2020 again. Like, we lived through it. I don't want to see a movie.
That's a good point too.
Where people are fucking,
doing
anything pandemic related and quarantining. It's just like, no, I want to live in the world where I want to escape. I don't want to think about the real world.
And that's what I said too. Like right when it ended, I said to my wife, I said, this is not going to be a movie that I'm going to want to watch again. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it started off well, but then it lost me like right after the credits. And so I was just like,
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Me and Phil are releasing a review of it tomorrow. I already trashed it today. So don't watch it.
Just know it's made by Kevin Williamson, the guy that wrote the first Scream. So it kind of gives you that Scream feeling when it first comes on for a little bit. But other than that,
sure.
Nah.
Yeah. So, and that's interesting because even like the Scream movies are very like, it's like it's also a timepiece. It's like that's a certain time. Like I don't think you could watch that first Scream and say, oh, that looks like today. Exactly. I don't know. I kind of just something about it just seems like, oh, that's 90s.
Very, yeah, the fashion,
the phones,
just the way the phones, yeah. And but it's still, that's like, I feel like Scream is a perfect entry point into like the horror world because it literally has everything.
Yeah,
it's a slasher, it's kind of psychological, it messes with you, you don't know who's the killer and who's not. It's a fun mystery, and it brings like the new thing to do in horror movies is be like self-aware. That was like one of the first ones to do that, and it just did it flawlessly, I thought. Scream is I could watch Scream all the time.
You just brought up a good question that we were able to talk with Jeffrey Reddick, who did the Final Destination movie, not Final Fantasy movies, Final Destination movies. Yeah, different franchise. And we were talking about like gateway horror and like what you would show someone if you wanted to get them into it. And like I was kind of saying, like Final Destination is a cool idea for like a gateway horror because it's like a lot of people watch those and they don't even think of them in the horror genre, but they definitely are. They're pretty horrific, like the deaths and all that. But it's more like very thrilling too. And Brandon, do you remember like the other two? We had named a couple more gateway horror films. I'm trying to think of what they were.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, I think it was, it's just Final Destination, Scream, and then I Know What You Did. No, I Know What You Did.
There was something else. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, it was in the fall.
But yeah, I was wondering if you had any thoughts about like what are some of the perfect movies to kind of introduce someone to the genre that might be kind of like iffy about it.
I will tell you this first. So that's awesome that you interviewed the director from Final Destination.
Yeah, the writer.
The writer.
Yep.
Final Destination 3, the opening scene with the roller coaster. That I can't watch that scene still to this day because, well, I'm terrified of heights and I'm terrified of roller coasters, and that combined both of them. I'm with you. I always say, like, all right, if you're on a roller coaster and it stops, like it can, what are you gonna do? Fucking climb down? And it was that scene is, a lot of the Final Destination movies maybe not like the best, but when they have those like really outlandish, wild ideas, they pull it together. That scene was great. I feel like Halloween would be a good one to introduce someone into the horror genre because it's so, if you want to show someone like a supreme like horror entity, Michael Myers is like how we were all like haunted when we were kids. We're like, oh shit, like this thing won't die. That will make someone not want to go.
So Halloween Ends. Okay.
Halloween Ends, absolutely. That's scary. That's scary on a whole other level. How they got greenlit, how there was no one in the writer's room that gave a shit, everything.
That whole trilogy.
I just don't. I'm so happy that people enjoy it because I love when people love movies, and I'm glad that they connect with it. But holy shit, I don't know what they see in it. I don't understand.
I'm with you.
And even like Halloween 2018, I've seen it 3 times. I've tried.
Yep.
It's just there's no feel to it.
Yeah, this doesn't have any replay value. That's the way I say it.
Oh,
I can't watch it again.
Yeah, no, it's just.
I think as where it stands now, and I mean, I'm probably crazy, but I kind of think I liked the third one best, and I liked the first 3/4 of the movie more than the full movie. Like I kind of could have done without the ending. I liked the guy's story. I thought it was like it was interesting. I would have liked to see a full movie of just that, but like I know they had
that would have worked better.
Yeah, I kind of like that story. I thought he was kind of like an interesting character. It was like it was psychological because like you're watching this guy kind of like the town's shunning him. He becomes the outcast.
Yeah.
And the evil kind of takes over him and he channels into it. He just goes with it.
Yeah, and you see and you have Laurie as like this all encompassing, because she's like on the outside of everyone, I feel like, kind of looking in, kind of as the audience to explain to the audience like what's going on while the characters are having all these experiences. Even because Laurie Strode, honestly, with the new trilogy, she's done nothing. It's not about her.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they were starting to do like they were gonna do like a whole new, like, okay, Corey's gonna be Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and the intro of that movie, I was like, well, first I was like, did we get introduced to this guy before? Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
introducing a new character in the third movie. I was like, I don't remember this guy at all. And the intro, I was like, okay, interesting start with like a kid fucking breaking his whole body down the stairs. I was like, not sure what this has to do with Halloween, but it was a cool scene. Yeah. And then just like the hacky dialogue and it's just clunky acting, but like then I felt like the writers bailed on their own premise. They were like, oh yeah, Michael Myers has to be in this movie.
That's kind of what I saw too. It was like they felt like they had to do it. Like it felt obligated instead of like, we're going to write this because this is what we think is the best path for the movie. Yeah.
It would have been better, or I can't say that because I'm not a film writer, I'm not a screenwriter, I'm not a director, but it would have been, I think it would have been more interesting if you just had Michael Myers disappear. Yeah. The original one. And then Corey kind of became the second coming. And then that kicks off a whole new thing if they wanted to keep it going. But I just don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
Like I was saying before, like I had told Dave, I said it could have gone this way. Keep 2018 the same way. But then the second one, everyone thinks that he died in that fire. Right? Yeah. And then you start part 3 at that point where the little kid dies and everything, and then the whole town starts going against Corey. And then Corey's kind of getting treated the way he was throughout the film. But then you bring in Halloween Kills, where Michael Myers was just going on that rampage of just killing people, just random people, because that's why I didn't like Kills. Kills was just so random. It was just like, what the fuck? What, this person he's killing has nothing to do with this movie or the whole storyline. And then kind of keep that going. And then you get to part 3 in actual time, and then like reveal that Corey was the killer, like on Scream style. Like he was getting close to the family the whole time. You're like, you know what I mean? Something
that would have been interesting. That way.
Yeah.
That would have been much more mysterious. And they like the fact that they bailed on that idea was such like so fan servicey, but in like the wrong type of way. Like obviously we all want to see Michael Myers, but like it leaves so much more like intrigue if he just kind of goes away, or kind of like what you said, where it's kind of like a bait and switch type of deal. I just think it was in the wrong hands. Like, they didn't really have a clear vision.
They should have realized people were already going to be pissed off when 3/4 of the movie he's not in it. Like you think you're gonna make up for it in the last like 15 minutes? No. Well, kids hate it. Like every kid that watched it, like I heard so many like younger kids talk about it. They were pissed because they just wanted to see Michael Myers because they're kids and that's what they wanted to see.
Well, did you guys feel that way? I don't know how you feel about Season of the Witch, but when that first came out, from what I like, research and stuff like that.
Yeah. People were pissed.
People were like, what's going on? Like this is billed as a Halloween movie. There's no Michael Myers. And now it's like a cult classic.
Exactly.
So now I think now we can kind of understand how that happens. Like, because the general public is probably like, oh, I thought I was going to see a Michael Myers movie. And we're like, oh, I just want to see a cool, interesting movie. I don't give a shit if he's in it or not. Yeah. Like if it's a good enough movie, I'm going to be happy.
And it doesn't like, I love that it's called Halloween because it feels like a Halloween movie. Yeah. Michael Myers isn't in it, but they went full. They had a clear vision. Yeah. Michael Myers wasn't brought in at the last second, like, hey, here he is, guys. It was a full fleshed out story. It was a fun story. The score was great. It was like a Scooby-Doo mystery, except just for adults.
Yeah,
that was the thing. And plus, like the same thing with Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. It just had a better story behind it. You know what I mean? Like these 2 films had a better story. This is just no.
Yeah, it just seems like, again, and I said this, I think I posted it on my stories, and I talked to Phil about it and other people because I can't keep my mouth shut. Yeah. Blumhouse, like the way they market stuff is brilliant because they get people to the theaters. They make such a big profit on these movies, but like there's no love and there's no TLC. There's no, they're not chasing waterfalls out here.
Right.
They're chasing cash and that's it. Yeah. There's no like, you don't look beyond the mist and you see a beautiful unicorn wearing like assless chaps or something very like something very out there. You're like, oh wow, I've never seen that before. It's just run of the mill basic shit, and they make so much money on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just understand marketing way more than horror.
Yeah, absolutely.
Business, but
I hope that we get like a long hiatus from the next Halloween entry. I think everybody needs a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they exhausted Michael Myers for sure. At least seems like with all three of us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Now we talk about Michael Myers needing to take a break. What do you guys think about the whole Terrifier 3 being announced already? You know what I mean? Is that too soon, or is it, what do you think?
Bring it on, baby. Bring it
Ready?
on.
Yeah.
I want it. I think Damien Leone is doing. Did you guys enjoy Terrifier 2?
Oh,
yeah, we loved it.
Loved it.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's such a, you see the progression. I love seeing progression in art, because from the first one to the second one, Damien Leone's like directing style. Like he has a style, like he established it, and he just took it to the next level with this second movie. Like this, like story wise, like you want to know more what's going on with how Sienna's connected to, how her dad's connected to art and what's going on. There's something with that. The end got a little weird for me.
Yeah.
When she was in like the dunk tank or whatever, and I'm like, is she Thor? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But like, she's such a badass, and her and Art the Clown, I think, have really good chemistry, just how they bounced off each other. And she wasn't willing to quit. And I hope that I want Terrifier to be like Friday the 13th. Just keep making them. I don't give a fuck what the story is. Keep making them. Do whatever crazy idea Damien Leone has. Do it. We need a new horror villain that's not a retread of something we've seen before. Just give us something fresh, and Art the Clown takes it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good take. I think it just works because his ideas are so crazy and original. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. So like the clown cafe scene and all that stuff, it's like no one's ever done anything like that. And he's not afraid to go just over the top bonkers. He really does not care about like somebody trying to make sense of the movie. It's like, I just think that this is gory as hell and it's going to be fun, so let's do it. So what better attitude to have?
Yeah. And I think he does care though about like, because you could tell, I mean, yes, he does love like just taking it to the next level with the gore.
Yeah.
But like the like, it seems like he wants to flesh out this story and see what he can do to just keep layering it.
For the record, I did mean like he doesn't care if it makes sense that this person is still alive after 20 minutes of bludgeoning them.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't trashing your opinion.
No, and then they're like, it's like, oh my god,
that bedroom scene.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Whew. I did you guys see it in theaters?
No, I seen it at home.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a fun theater experience. Like everyone was it was a packed theater near me where I saw it, and like with that scene, it just kept going, and I turned to my friend, I was like, are they gonna stop this? Like this is getting pretty like intense. It just kept going. And if a movie can make you feel uncomfortable, it did its job, because it questions, it challenges you. I love it. Even in the slasher genre, I love a movie that is a good challenge.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time, because it's like from the horror we grew up on, how like when they killed someone, it would like cut away, you know what I mean? And then now it's just like you're saying, art doesn't stop. And then we had the conversation when Dave was like, "Oh, you're gonna let your kids see this?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." And then I talked to my son. He's like, "Yeah, I seen it already." And I'm like, "Oh, you did?" I'm like, what did you think of it?
So the whole movie,
pretty good.
Probably
it was pretty good. But then it's like, we look at it now. The conversation is like, when he's our age, where the fuck is horror gonna be then? Like, you know what I mean?
That is true. That is very true. Like you grew up watching Waxwork and stuff like that, and for the day, those movies like Nightmare on Elm Street and like all those movies, I'm sure you watched some gory stuff back in the day. Terrifier is like, that's what it is to them now.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think they're going to turn on the TV and see fucking Terrifier 2. I mean, they're not going to turn on the TV and see like, I don't know where I'm going with that. Never mind. Scratch that.
No, but I get what you're saying though, because it's like they pretty much can access anything. Like kids can see anything these days, and nothing's off limits. Whereas like it was very limited where we could like, all right. So one of my favorite things, like memories of high school was like gore.com, bestgore.com or something. And like it felt so wrong to like get a picture of like real gore, and that but was like thrilling. And I remember like watching that and being like, oh, this is awesome. Kids see that shit now, no problem.
Yeah. And I think he watched it on YouTube, you know what I mean? So Terrifier, it was like leaked on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So that's where he's seen it, but I was just like, damn.
Dude, you can watch a whole movie on TikTok if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Kids are ruthless. There's nothing is sacred. Everything will be spoiled for you on the internet. If they want to see something, they're gonna see it. I don't know how you have kids today in this society, because it has to be so difficult.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To try to parent these little fucking creatures. With everything going on right now, and like, how do you even? Yeah. What do you even do? That's a whole other conversation.
Lots of conversations. That's what.
Talk to your kids.
Yeah, I talked to him a lot, explain things. Just the other day, there was a situation, the school lockdown. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy. You know, you just gotta talk to them and say, hey, if somebody tells you to do this or do that, be yourself. Because they had one kid, he was told to do something and he did it, and now there was a school lockdown. So tell your kids out there, anybody got his kids, talk to your kids, tell them to be themselves. Don't try to be anything extra. That's all you can do.
Communication is key, always.
Yeah.
Talking can go a long way, even if the person is hard to talk to. It's just because they, dealt with some trauma, and it's hard to open up. But everyone opens up in their own way.
Yeah, I think that's like important, because like we always, it's like just try to find. You got to figure out like not everybody. You can't talk to everybody in one way. Absolutely. So like if someone doesn't feel like that you're connecting with them, you got to find a different way. It's like that for everything, It's like that with movies. Like look at all the different styles and tastes we have in things, and the way we receive things. So you just got to find the way to connect with people. Well, like one thing that's cool though is like kids, because kids can pretty much see everything. They definitely have an interest in horror at an early age, but like horror that we actually would like too. And like I work with kids too, and like I can use horror movies as a way to like connect with them and get them to understand concepts, because like kids just seem to get it now. Like they get it better. Like back then I was just more like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm watching this. I wasn't thinking about themes and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking about like how like traumatizing a situation was. I was just like, it felt more mindless. But kids are putting thought into things these days. It's fun.
As like, you could see the internet as like a bad thing, but there's so much information out there that, I think kids are learning things a lot quicker and just understanding more, especially because there's more information available than there were when like we were kids. Like we were taught one way in school, and now people are, researching themselves and figuring out, you still need people there to ground you, because there's so much information out there. Anyone can find an article or something that agrees with their opinion. But there's only one type of fact, but there's the kids out there are super smart, way smart. I was a dumb fucking kid. Like I watched like child actors and interviews, like just like Millie Bobby Brown, for example, or whatever. And I watched like interviews of her talking about Stranger Things, years ago when she was like more of a kid. And I would be like, I did not have any of those thoughts as a child. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't remember. It wasn't as well thought out as like these kids nowadays. They're more thoughtful. They seem to choose their words a lot more, and they're just, thinking is good. Going off of impulse is probably not the best, although sometimes it's difficult to like just lash out. But being thoughtful seems like it's being taught a lot more, despite all the shit that's going on.
You know what would be cool? Doing a remake of Children of the Corn with like today's kids. You know what I mean? Everything
modernized Children of the Corn. Oh my god, that movie does need an update, because that movie is honestly, I don't know when the last time you watched that movie, kind of a snooze fest. As much as it's a good, like, concept is great moments, Altogether though, like could have been a little tightened up.
Yeah,
could have cut the fat a little bit.
Yeah, I watched it last year again, and I was like, all right. I mean, it's definitely still good. It just, yeah, it's could use some good updating. Not necessarily like the sequels tried to modernize it a little bit, and those are horrible.
Yeah, TikTok. Oh my god, that could totally use some remake power.
Yes. So Doug, you're into conventions and stuff?
Oh yeah. I've been going to Monster Mania. Well, mainly I go to Monster Mania. I would love to go out to like other states and go to different ones.
Yeah.
My best friend last year went to Horror Hound, which he said was really, really fun. But yeah, I've been going to Monster Mania since like 2013.
Oh wow.
So I was like 23 and 10 years ago. Crazy. Yeah, and then VHS Fest. I don't know if you guys
I've heard of it. I haven't been. Where is that?
It's at the Mahoning Drive-In in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, Lunch Meat puts it on. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
yeah,
super cool guys. They throw it at the Mahoning, and it's just a super fun weekend of like movie marathons at a drive-in, and you camp, which I do not like camping, so I'll be staying at a hotel because I'm bougie and I hate sleeping on the fucking dirt. I'll absolutely say that. I'm trying not to be around people when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Fucking raging with alcohol, tripping over tent stakes, and
get an RV. Get an RV.
That's it. I'd so get an RV. Unfortunately, I do have terrible driving anxiety, but if someone could drive the RV, I'll rent it.
This is very problematic for you. I see.
Yeah, everything.
Trust me, I thought of that already.
Amtrak, baby. We do public transportation in New York. Yeah, Monster Mania is my favorite convention of all time. Love it. Went to Connecticut Horror Fest last year.
Okay, yeah.
Which was very low key.
Yeah,
but really fun. Do you guys ever go to? I guess CT Horror Fest would be closer to you, right?
We went to that one before the pandemic. So right, Brandon, that was like, what was that? 2020, 2018,
2019, one of them.
One of those years. We used to have one relatively close, Rock and Shock in Worcester, Mass.
Oh yeah.
I stopped doing that one. But we got a couple, so you should, if you can get a ride. We got the one in Taunton coming up, Monster Expo. They'll be doing that again in October.
Who's going to be there?
They have not announced the guest list yet because he's been focusing on, they're doing a halfway to Halloween one.
Okay.
In June, July, something like that.
Oh, awesome.
They got Linnea Quigley, Felissa Rose.
I'm in. You're ready to say Linnea Quigley.
And someone else who I can't think of right now. But yeah, I don't know who he's going to have for October. But I think we're going to be screening a film there, a Friday the 13th film. Right. So that should be a good time. And yeah, we'll pick you up.
I could take an Amtrak out there. I could figure out a way.
Good, because I didn't really want to drive all the way there.
Yeah, no,
driving Long Island sucks. So
yeah, I won't force you to be my Uber driver. Yeah, Long Island does suck. No one knows how to drive anywhere. But yeah, I've taken Bolt buses to New Jersey and stuff like that. I don't mind. But yeah, that sounds like a good fucking time. So let me know when that is, and I definitely want to try to make it there because that'd be super fun. Did you guys ever hear of what's the one in California? I forgot the name of it. It's Midsummer Scream, maybe. I think that's one of them, but there's another one that's supposedly like really, really fun in LA.
I'm not sure, but like I really want to go to like some like an area that we have like outside of New England for sometime, because like I feel like we kind of get like, I don't know if it really changes that much, but it feels like we get like sort of the same guests in our area pretty frequently. Like the one in Texas I've always wanted to go to.
That's the one. Yeah,
that one would be sick. There's a big one in Canada too, which I'm trying to think of, that Rue Morgue like always people usually go to.
Is it
like Niagara Falls one, right?
Oh yeah, okay. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Trying to think of it, but yeah, I mean, there's so many that I would love to go to, but like to be honest with you, it was hard to even get back in the swing of them.
After the pandemic.
Yeah, it was like because we were going pretty frequently, and then the pandemic hit, and then like it took a lot to like get the energy to want to go again. I was like, there's gonna be a lot of people, all that stuff. Not like I'm not around people all the freaking time, so I don't know why it mattered.
I mean, at conventions, it's close quarters, and people are, convention people. A lot of the times can be a little disgusting. Not a lot of personal space. Not even disgusting. It's just everyone's close together and sweating. Yeah. Some people can't help it. During a pandemic, you don't want to be, you don't want to, get caught up at a convention, have a good time, and start dying.
We're
sick. No one wants to be involved with that. But
I was gonna say, so the one that kind of got us back in the swing of them, Monster Expo this past October, we did a screening of Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Ooh. And we did a Q&A with Mark Patton.
That's amazing.
Which was awesome because that was our first time meeting him. We've Brandon, no, that was your second. You met him in Salem. But it was like awesome because he was just so freaking nice, and he was like chatting with us as if he knew us forever. He was like spending like long amounts of time, and just to kind of hear the news that he's not feeling well right now really sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer, man. Unfortunately, it sucks when all like the people that we grew up with are getting like sick.
Yeah.
And just having these like health problems. It's such a bummer to see. But yeah, I haven't met him yet, but I heard he's like a really, really cool guy. Before the pandemic, I missed it because I found out about it later. The indie theater over here near me, Cinema Arts Center, they do like movie screenings, and they have some like Q&As and stuff like that. And Mark Patton did one for the documentary Scream Queens.
Yeah.
Which would have been cool to see. Everyone seems to love this guy, and he seems like a super cool guy.
Yeah.
That's
he's like
a chance to do the screen.
He's nice, but he's also kind of like, I don't know, he like kind of will throw in like a kind of like a subtle joke here, like an offbeat joke there. It's like I just liked him. He just felt like a real person, He's
that's what we love. Like especially on the East Coast over here, like throw some jabs at us. Like it makes us feel like we know that. Like just bust balls,
Yeah.
That's like a term of endearment, It's like we like talking shit.
So let me ask you, if you could do a movie screening and a Q&A with somebody, I mean, this is kind of putting you on the spot. Like, what would be a dream of yours to do?
I have. It's gonna be dead or alive.
Actually, either would be awesome to hear.
Okay. I would love to. Okay, so if we're going with alive, and god damn it, I just love this goddamn movie. Toni Collette in Hereditary. I need to know every detail about that movie. Her performance is fantastic.
Yeah.
And if we're going like dead, Maniac with Joe Spinell, because
that's such a great call.
That was like his baby.
Yeah.
Like the way they like film that movie and like the lengths they had to go through is just like, I would just love to hear those incredible stories. And Joe Spinell, everyone like loved it. Like he was in Rocky. He was friends with like all those dudes, with like Sylvester Stallone and De Niro, and he's just like a real old school Italian guy. So it would be cool to like hear his stories about like making that movie and going through the process to get funding for it, because what's the name, William Lustig, like he did like porn and shit like that, like
yeah
so like
that's an awesome call. That would be awesome to talk to him. That movie is awesome. Like I absolutely love Maniac, and just getting a chance to actually talk to him about the process of that. He chews up the freaking screen in that movie. Like you can't take your eyes off him.
Did you guys ever see The Undertaker?
Yeah.
That's another one where it's just like, this movie's so much fun.
Yeah. It's only fun because of him. Like, outside of that, like if put somebody else in the place, probably would not enjoy it as much. But like it's just enjoyable watching that dude. He's nuts.
Yeah, he's like a Nicolas Cage type of guy where like he's not the best, but for some reason you're magnetized towards him. Like you just like watching him.
What do you guys think about the Maniac remake?
I thought it was okay. I just recently watched it for the first time.
Oh, you just all right.
A couple months ago. I like Elijah Wood in general.
Yep.
I like how he made it completely different.
Yeah.
With like the POV style, but like, old Maniac.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely 100%. I just wanted to see where your views were at on that.
It was interesting. It was interesting. I think Elijah Wood is a person who like gets horror, and he like loves the horror genre. He has his own company. Yeah. I mean, he produced like, Mandy and all those movies.
If you hadn't seen the original Maniac, I feel like that movie probably feels better than like knowing the original Maniac. I like, because I think I might have seen. I'm trying to remember if I saw the Elijah Wood. I saw like when it first came out. Trying to think if I saw it first or if I saw the original. But I remember being like, "Oh, this is pretty good." Then I saw the original. I was like, "Holy shit, this is
awesome." All right, yeah.
The original is just real dirty, real gritty, and it's a good story. I think it's a good story.
Yeah,
just like the art scene. Yeah. Oh my god.
Have you guys ever slow-moed that?
No.
Never. Oh, it's fun. Like you guys never slow-mode like a head explosion? That's like my favorite thing to do. I love watching it.
You should put those on YouTube. Like, you know how they have like they have this website called doesthedogdie.com. And if you look at it's exactly what it is. See what movies where a dog dies in, so you could like skip the scene or not watch it all together.
Yeah.
You should just do like slowed down like head explosions and murders and really messed up like gore.
I thought everybody did that. So
I seen one last night. I was watching Chopping Mall.
Okay,
that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a nice one.
Yeah.
And then what was it? The movie with the basketball when she slammed it on her head.
Which movie?
The movie. Remember the old lady from the Goonies? She got her head smashed in with the basketball.
Oh.
I can't remember the movie right now. It's already on the tip of my tongue too. Though.
I have it.
Yeah.
I can't fucking think of it. Someone break out IMDb.
Yeah. No cheating, guys.
We failed.
These old brains don't work.
Yeah, seriously. I'm trying to remember if I even. Oh wait, I do know what you're talking about. What the fuck? I absolutely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We talked about that somewhat.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't, but it is what it is. We'll get it out there. We'll put it as a.
Oh my god, that's gonna drive me nuts.
But yeah, man. So we talked about the conventions, but I also love when you do your cosplays. It's always funny. It's always a funny take on it. It's like an old school Eminem video because you don't dress up just to be like, look, I'm this person. It's just like you have like this fucking twist to it. Like, what the fuck goes through your head when you're creating those shits?
Oh man, that's a pretty wild. Because I don't take it seriously. I just like being goofy, and I I do it for fun. I'm not like. There's not a lot of thought that goes into it. I'm just like, how can I make this like stupid, or how can I like just like make it fun? And I'm like, my second favorite like genre of all time is like just comedy. So I love stand-up comedy. So I'm just like I have like that comic type of brain where I'm just like doing shit for just to be fucking goofy. That's pretty much what it is. And then I just like, again, I love how everyone shows off their like collections and shows off like what they love and how creative they can like make themselves, because a lot of people unfortunately whether it's parental trauma or body dysmorphia or all that stuff, it's like you should love who you are, and if you want to fucking take pictures of yourself in this in this fucking get up or whatever this cosplay, or you like how you look, just fucking post it. It's the internet. Who gives a shit? It shouldn't be that serious.
Right, exactly.
But I just like to do goofy shit and I think it's fun. So that's pretty much where my head's at all times.
Hey Brandon, was a deadly friend?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's it right there. There you go.
Thank you.
Wasn't that Wes Craven?
Oh, now I'm gonna Google it again.
Some so sorry. I thought you were gonna look up I thought you were gonna give us.
I instantly closed the browser.
He's cheating.
You could have just said, "Yeah, sure," or like, "No, you moron. It's not Wes Craven."
Yes, it's Wes.
I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
Earmuffs.
So, yeah, man. So what? You work at a music venue, right?
Yeah. I work at a music venue.
What is that like, and what type of music are you into?
Oh my god. Well, so much. I've been listening to Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean for the past like 2 weeks.
All right.
But you're like, all right, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick.
It's a great song. No, but yeah, I'm one of the box office managers in there. So we do like ticketing and stuff. And it's super fun just working behind the scenes of like a music venue and seeing who like comes through there. I just love being in like the entertainment industry. I've been there for like 6 years so far, but like I started out, I wanted to be like a recording engineer and stuff like that. Like a sound engineer, sorry. But like that's like too much. I like structure, and that's more like freelance type of work. Like you gotta like book sessions and work late nights into like however long you get booked for a session for. Not my tempo. I like structure. I like certain hours. Yeah. What else? What was the other thing we were talking about? Oh, just music. Fucking so everything. Gap band. I love some surf rock.
There you go.
Old school, like Tribe Called Quest, Eric B. Rakim, all that KRS-One stuff. Scott LaRock, all that, all the good gritty New York hip hop stuff, and then shit like Billy Ocean, Pantera, Metallica, anything. What about you guys?
A mixture of everything. I know that we both like Wu-Tang. What was it? We go see Action Bronson.
Yes.
And then
Danny Brown.
Danny Brown.
To see a couple times.
Danny Brown's crazy.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit, you know. I mean, there's everything. I'm willing to listen to like all different music. Like you said, Gap Band. I grew up on that with my dad.
Hell yeah.
And just anything. I'm willing to kind of like give anything a chance. You know what I mean? Like, because I even worked with some of my friends and they like the country. I end up going to Country Fest. And, I don't give a fuck. It's like music's music to me, and I think that everybody just has it's a certain way for everybody to express themselves.
Yeah.
So it's just like doesn't matter what it sounds like. I just give it a shot. Like, but even today, like my son's music that he likes, it's I'm slowly getting used to it. Like he's into this kid Yeet. Have you heard?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, like that. This is the new wave of rap was going on. Like, so it's like you have Yeet and it's some kid Destroy Lonely.
I heard that guy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's playing at our venue, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him to go see him.
Are you?
Yeah, not at your venue though.
Oh, I was like,
Rhode Island.
Come through. I'll get you in.
Yeah, so music's just going everywhere. So what about you, Dave?
Yeah, I just can't do country. I can pretty much do anything else but country. But I end up going for a lot of like indie rock bands and indie music. I don't know why, but I'm like this music snob that as soon as somebody becomes too popular, I'm like, and they're on the radio, I'm like, nah. And it's happened like time and time again. As soon as they get like radio popularity, I just feel like it's not like their true version of who they are. And they like kind of go for this, like, just this commercial version of themselves.
What have you guys been listening to recently? Like recently that you just like, what's in your, I guess I want to say like, what's in your Walkman? But like, because there's no Walkmans, but like, what have you been listening to? Like, I don't know, what's been on your playlist?
The Steve Lacy album. I'm like,
Steve
I know,
Lacy.
and I know that's like I just said commercialized, and I know that song's everywhere, but like he's not commercial in my opinion.
What does he do? I don't think I know.
Oh, that song "Bad Habit" that's like on the radio every like 30 seconds.
He formed from that old Tyler the Creator. The hell were they called? Odd Future. Yeah, he was with them, and so he was in the band the Internet.
Oh,
girl band. And so he formed off. He that's where he's from.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I don't know. Like I kind of been stuck on that Drake and 21 Savage album a little bit.
That's pretty good. I've been listening to that. Yep.
I can't do Drake.
Yeah.
You just I appreciate the I mean you gotta respect him.
Yeah.
I just can't. I appreciate his artistry. I just can't. That like he went to like this dance hall shit.
Yep. He's everywhere.
Very poppy. I mean, he could do a lot of shit, but like I don't know, Hotline Bling I do like some Hotline Bling. But other than that, I mean, yeah, for some reason I just can't get behind it and listen to it
Like I feel
on
you.
my own. But
Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys.
No, and then like yeah, I'm having a hard time with them because I love a lot of their albums. I'm not loving the new stuff that they put out recently because it's a very different style for them.
Changes.
I'm just like it's not connecting with me. But I love old school Arctic Monkeys for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, either you're on board or you could you could listen to it another time and start feeling it, or you could not.
Yeah. I am saying one of my most anticipated albums this year is going to be that Gorillaz album that when that actually comes out, because the songs they put out so far are like just like amazing. That Tame Impala one and the one with Brandon, who's that dude that did Blood on the Dance Floor. Drawing
a blank.
Shit. I'm trying to think, but like that album's gonna be
Gorillaz amazing. Always comes out with fire.
Yeah.
Well, Fall Out Boy's preview of their new song sounds like it's gonna be pretty bomb. I don't know if you guys fuck with Fall Out.
Oh my god, I was definitely an emo kid, so like
hell yeah, there we go.
Pop punk and all that stuff, like
My Chemical Romance.
Next Sunday.
Yes, Take Back Sunday just played like 2 months ago over here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, obviously people still love it. It's sold out. But yeah, that like all that 2005, 2006, like all that emo stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of From Autumn to Ashes.
Yeah.
Man, such a banger.
Yeah.
They were.
I was trying to think of Thundercat earlier. I just don't.
Thundercat.
Someone's gonna listen and be like, well, "How is he not getting that?"
Yeah.
Thundercat is great.
Yes. Yeah.
Says new album's good too.
I heard a couple songs. Yeah, I heard a couple songs off there. They were pretty good.
I heard the Kill Bill one.
Yeah.
And something else, but yeah, everyone's been on that SZA wave.
Yeah, I like the
breaking records. Yeah, it's breaking records.
Hey, but that's the thing. It's like just music. You just all random shit. I give everything a chance. You know what I mean? So
you have to. That's how you know if you like it or not. You got to listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or what? That goes with everything. That's why I encourage people to go see, movies that might not pique their interest, because you never know until you actually see it. You can't say you don't like something if you've never seen it. That's to properly love or hate on something, you have to see it.
Yeah.
In order to go into battle, into a debate, you have to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you can't just hate on something. Yeah, you're exactly right. You have to get some kind of like basic information or knowledge in order to form an argument. Yeah.
Like, I want to know why you hate this. I want to know why you love it. Yeah. Give me details. Don't just say it sucks because it looks like it sucks, or it just like, no, it doesn't just suck. Give me details. I talk a lot, so like
you need more than that.
You can't just say it sucks because it sucks.
Right. See, no, I was good.
Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say, like, when it comes to like music and movies, I think that for Brandon and I, it's like that's always kind of been how we view it. Is like I just want to kind of like, even if I know something's not for me, I want to check it out just to like know why it's not for me and be able to tell people why it's not for me. Like the new Predator movie, like nothing. Like I am just not a Predator type person. Like that's not my thing. No. But I had to watch it just so I could like make sure. And like be able to actually, like,
I told you.
But I didn't want to be like not watch it and be like, oh yeah, that movie probably sucks. Like I hate when people do that stuff. And the same goes for music. It's funny because like when Brandon and I first met like ages ago, that was kind of like our thing, was like exchanging movies and music. Like we just was like burned CDs and burned movies.
How long have you guys known each other? I guess a long time if you've been burning CDs for each other.
Yeah. It was like around 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah. So
damn.
It's so we were like just constantly like just whether it was trading CDs or movies, it was like just talking about that stuff and connecting with people about that.
Yeah. Nothing was better than creating a mix for the car. Before I had crippling driving anxiety, I used to like get blank CDs. Yep. That used to be my favorite part of the day, where I was like, all right, what 20 songs am I feeling right now that I can fit it would be like, oh my god, I had one mix with like all Seven Dust on it.
Yeah.
And then, dude, Seven Dust is so good. And then just like, I don't know, Disturbed, Corn,
Yeah.
and then just like Dance Gavin Dance, just like random shit, whatever you're feeling. But like,
yeah. Oh, playlists. Like I used to swear by playlists, man. It's like it's a playlist for everything.
Yeah, like, having like a CD booklet in your car and just flipping through it. I never used to label mine because I always liked the surprise. I was like, be like, wait, what the fuck is on this? Let's see.
I feel like that might say something about your personality. Like that's a very interesting take right there.
I guess, or maybe it was just laziness. I don't know why. I was younger and I didn't feel like labeling it, but I do like good elements of surprise. I like to be surprised with things, but I also like to know things. So I don't know. I might be conflicting. No way.
Maybe that's your personality is conflicting. You know, it's contradicting.
Maybe. I hope not.
It's not a bad thing. No, it's all right. It's cool. You're good.
Complex.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, yeah, like we were talking about, you said you just because you see something or you think that you're not gonna like it, you still want to go in and see it.
Yeah.
What was it? Like we were talking about that movie that just came out, Megan, you know, the previews of her dancing and everything like that. It kind of like made me kind of think like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? But we still went in and gave it a chance to check it out. And I think that you have seen it too, right?
Oh, I saw it opening night.
What did you think of it?
You know, I'm not gonna I don't outwardly hate it.
Yep.
But like after I got out, I was like, that was something. And then I kept like reading more into it and then processing it. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like this movie. I think the best parts, I think it could have been done a little bit differently. I think, you know, the horror could have been a little bit more prevalent. I thought with the R rating, they could have really done something chaotic with this character because they just didn't go full bore into like, you know, slay Megan slay. Like she really wasn't doing much. Like it just, again, another movie where it forgot to add like scares. Like it wasn't scary. And I get what they're trying to do. It literally was just made to be a TikTok. It's fine. They made so much money off it already. It's still number 2 at the box office. But it didn't, and maybe I don't want to say I'm too old, but it didn't connect with me on that level. I like Megan, but there wasn't enough of her. There wasn't enough of like that chaotic energy that she was bringing in the trailer. They could have, and it was the part that was supposed to be more grounded. The what's her name, Katie and her aunt, that like connective tissue. What you're supposed, I feel like it was just too done before. Like if it would have been like Katie fully gave into Megan and she started just like going on this crazy adventure with Megan and just like she killed her fucking aunt, like that would be something different. But you know, obviously you want to make the story be human and connect rather than just make an insane horror movie.
Well, I'm hearing that there's supposed to be an unrated version. Well, like with more shit added onto it. But I guess they felt that it was going to be fine with a PG-13. They didn't have to put it with a rated R. So I don't know. They kind of just wanted to like try it out and do something different. But when the night that it came out, I was supposed to get like tickets to go see it like a few days before, like at a premiere, but it was in Boston. I was just like, that movie doesn't look that great for me to drive all the way to Boston in an hour.
How far are you from Boston?
Like an hour, like 15 minutes or something.
Oh, that's not bad at all. That's
but I'm thinking like, I don't think that movie looks that great for me to want to take that drive. You know what I mean? So then I skipped it. And then everybody had seen it that Friday and everybody was saying how great it was. And then so I'm like, all right, telling my kids, I'm like picking them up, I'm going to go check it out. And then so everybody's talking about it, saying like it's like the best thing, like she's a new horror icon. I had gone into it and I'm just like, I don't see this, you know. But it was okay. But my main thing is it's like people hated on the Child's Play remake so much, and it's similar, you know what I mean?
Child's Play reboot, it wasn't even that bad. I actually liked it. I actually liked that one.
Yeah,
because it did something different rather than just do a straight up remake.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but that was rated R too.
Yeah.
And they went hard. In Megan, they cut away a lot. Really, she really didn't have that much of a menacing presence as she could have. And I like the sass she was throwing. She was sassy. She was saying, you know, when she broke out into song, I was laughing. I think you need to see this movie in a theater to get the full experience, because people were dying in the theater, and that was making me laugh harder because it was just so ridiculous. But like after the movie, I was like, that's all right. And then I kept like, again, I read those articles with like, new horror icon. This is the best horror movie. It was so well written. I'm like, did I see the wrong movie? Because I don't think so. Well written. And did you guys like Malignant? Because it's from the same director.
Yeah. I thought it was all right.
I love Malignant.
Yeah.
That movie went full chaotic.
Yes.
And I don't think that, I feel like if this movie went full crazy, like full Nicolas Cage, we'll go there. It would have been, I think it would have been, I don't know, I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
Holding back.
Yeah. They definitely could have went harder.
So, Brandon, did you want to ask about the new HBO Max thing that I didn't check out yet? Because I know that that's a big topic on everyone's mind right now.
Yeah. So, with last night, they made the premiere of The Last of Us on HBO Max. This is definitely one of my favorite video games of all time. It released back in 2013. It scored a 10 out of a 10. And I think have you played that game before? Any of you guys play the game?
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not like a huge gamer like at all. But I'm aware of the game. Besides, like I don't really know anything that happens in it. All I know is that it's a post-apocalyptic type of story. That's about.
You watched the show last night, though, right?
I watched the show, and curious to pick your brain about it because you play the game, and I don't, and neither do you.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
And I didn't check it out yet, but I'm gonna check it out tonight, tomorrow.
So, going into it completely blind, other than that, and like, all right, well, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but I thought it was great. I thought it was really fleshed out just from the first episode, and it's hard not to compare it to The Walking Dead because it's the same type of theme, apocalypse type of show. Not zombies, you know, they're infected, but you know, you have this family you're following around, and there's this kind of government that kind of controls everything. So like it's kind of in the same realm, but this is just like you feel the acting. Pedro Pascal is amazing.
But that's the thing, man. It's like this game, it was just this is on right. Everything that happened last night is what happened in the game, and so usually you don't get that in video games that turn into films or anything. Kind of like Resident Evil, they go off track and kind of do their own thing. Just like all those Resident Evil movies made no sense because it was nothing like the game. But everything you're getting from The Last of Us was happening. Just that beginning, like that opening scene. That's how the game starts off.
So
they added some stuff into it, but
did you like the stuff that was added to it? Do you think it like fleshed it out more? Like,
because
sometimes it could hurt, like you were talking about.
No, yeah, and that's what the point. That's what I was saying. Like it added more like detail into it. So say like how meeting the neighbors and everything like that, how that happened. That wasn't in the game, but it kind of gave you that backstory of everything. And so it was like cool that, well, they're doing something right. And they actually have a podcast, and they were kind of like talking about, I listened to it after.
Who, the neighbors?
No, the neighbors have a podcast.
I was like, wow, okay. They're really like
the guys that made the show. So they're actually, the team that made the game is actually behind it also. So they were always trying to pitch this as like a movie. But then they just realized like they can't get all this done in like an hour and 2 hour movie because the gameplay is like more than 10 hours of gameplay, and the story just continues to go through the whole thing. So it's just like everything they're doing. If you're impressed by that first episode, and just get ready for the rest of it, because the second episode is just getting ready to pick up too. Because once you start to see like how the infected are down the road, it's nuts. It's crazy.
I seriously can't wait. And when I was watching the first episode, it kind of felt very, again, I love The Walking Dead, so it felt very Walking Dead to me from the beginning, but just the way you connect to the characters and the way the chaos that was kind of happening, I'm like, okay, I see they're doing something different. Let's see how different it is from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I think one of my candles just fell. But hold on, let me just make sure that things aren't
no house fire.
Nope, we're good. Nope, nothing's on fire.
Good. There you go.
Perfect. It just fell all over the fucking floor and melted. Amazing. Anyway, but yeah, and they took it a step further, and they didn't insult the audience with like terrible dialogue.
No.
There's a lot. I don't know if any of you guys watch The Walking Dead, but
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Towards the end, it just felt like, wow, you
wait, you finished?
Circles.
You finished the entire
wow. I finished it.
Oh no. Well, I watched it as like this. I was like caught up. I watched it every Sunday since like 2012.
Yeah.
Where are you guys?
I almost made it. I think I'm season 8.
Oh wow. You have a lot to go.
I tapped out when Carl did.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know. Was that in there, Dave? I don't know if I just.
Yeah.
I think. Wait. Well. Yeah. Well. Where how far did you get?
When I don't want to say anything. I was at the point where the zombies could talk.
Oh.
They're in
okay.
a graveyard with like this, with this smog and like or fog.
The whispers.
Smog. Yeah, the whispers. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's caught up to that part.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when it took a turn for the worse, I think.
It's funny because at that part, everyone's like, "Oh, I think it's really coming back," and I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah. People thought that show. I think this is one of the best episodes ever, season 7, episode 1, where Negan completely takes out Glenn and Abraham.
Yeah.
People were like, I'm gonna stop watching the show. They killed my favorite characters. The dialogue in that episode,
it was nuts.
Was so whip smart and clever and really cut to the core. So great and so surprising. And then it just turned into the fucking Bourne Supremacy. Everyone's pointing guns at each other.
Yeah.
It's so action heavy and less horror. Which didn't, again, less horror, fine, but like the dialogue was just so bad. There was this one scene, this is not a spoiler really, because this could happen in any episode, but like the wall broke in Alexandria or Hilltop or one of them, and people were like sleeping in this in the living room of this house, and they were like, they blockaded the doors and everything, but one of the people were like dead inside already, or they like fell asleep and died, and it was walking down the stairs, stumbling down the stairs loud. And it tripped over someone at the bottom of the staircase and collapsed. No one woke up. Like, come on. Are you fucking kidding? Like, that type of writing is like, okay, we're not stupid. Like, there has to be some consequences here.
That's why it lost me at that last episode. I couldn't continue. I couldn't do it anymore.
And dude, with all the spin-offs happening, they could have just kept the show going.
It's still not over.
It's crazy. It's actually kind of infuriating. It's like, why bother doing that?
They shouldn't have ended it. It's not over. They could.
And Fear of the Walking Dead is already on season like something crazy. And I'm like,
that's a show I don't watch. I fucking tapped out so quickly with that pile of shit. That is it's just wow. Just the writing in that show again. It's just the same. It's like, yeah, we saw The Walking Dead. You're literally doing the same thing and making it so terrible. And like, so like just the nonsense that like the politics of it is just like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like how like one part in season 5 of The Walking Dead where Beth gets captured and she's in that hospital.
Yep.
And they have all these weird rules. And I'm like, bitch, just leave. There's no rules. It's the apocalypse. Who cares? You're listening to this fucking dumb woman and her dumb cop friend.
Wow.
Like,
it's so funny. I kind of forgot about that whole like setting that they were in. I mean, it literally just started to become like Yeah, like it was so predictable. It was almost like cookie cutter. They were just like this opposition, this like adversary, and all that stuff. It just, it's too much.
Luckily,
Hopefully, this show won't do that.
Yeah, the show is gonna do well because it's following the game. So we'll see, and then they'll have a season 2. But definitely, I want to keep like this conversation kind of going between us, like off of the air. I want to see what you guys think about the season as everything goes forward.
Do you think there's gonna be because you played both games, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So do you think they're gonna go beyond the game and keep the show going if it's popular?
I think so. They might have a third game, so we'll see. Because it's still not over how that ended. So we'll see.
All right, that'll be interesting because a lot of these shows that go beyond the source material kind of lose their footing because the original creator is not, he's the master. It's his vision. He knows the same thing. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I know that a lot of people weren't feeling the last season because the directors were just like, well, we ran out of ideas. I guess we'll use our own.
Yeah. I don't know, because that's the thing too, because HBO was behind it. So if they don't make a third game, I think Naughty Dog has so much into it. I can see them probably saying, we're all set. This is it.
Oh wow.
I don't think they're not gonna Walking Dead it.
At what point does Chris Hardwick start doing an after show?
An after show?
Yeah, never.
The Talk of Us? Yeah, fuck him. we don't need that. That overly positive attitude, like, hey, if the episode sucked, just say it. Like, and give us the reasons. Come on, let's talk about it. Everything doesn't have to be that amazing.
Dead.
It's just Walking Dead was too much.
Yes. Yep. So Doug, this has been like a 2-hour conversation, but it felt like it felt super fast. So no, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. This was fun, dude. Of
course. I had a great time with you guys.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. I like I said, I talk way too much. So
no, not at all. That's what I'm saying. Like that time just flew by. I was like, wow. All right. So
I don't even know. It's 9:30. Shit.
Well, we definitely should do this again sometime soon.
Absolutely.
This one was awesome. And hopefully we can, at some point, either us your way or you up here, kind of meet up at some point in real life. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. If Linnea Quigley is going to be at that con, I'm fucking there.
We'll
hang out.
We'll make sure we send you the post for that so you can kind of watch for tickets and the dates and stuff like that.
Yes, let me know, because Rhode Island's not that far from here.
It's like 3 hours or something like that.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this chat. This was a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be doing this again.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.